Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hit the Apex. I'm Charlie, and today we have two live watch alongs. This is the first of two, of course, and today it is a watch along for practice one, which will be starting in a couple of seconds' time for an hour, of course, and then we have qualifying at 4 p.m. So make sure you check both of those out before we get going here. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And we are underway for FP1. I'll be back in a minute. The Red Bull ring is looking resemblant from the heli shot this afternoon. The famous Austrian flag runoff areas. The famous Austrian flag runoff areas, making it instantly recognisable. We're used to seeing teams being quite tentative in FP1, but with qualifying later on today, they're going to have to get their setup right as quickly as possible. After allocating the three hardest tyre compounds at Silverstone, Pirelli have chosen to bring the three softest for this sprint weekend. The drivers have made their way out on track as they look to get as much learning as possible ahead of qualifying later today. The only driver who is yet to make his way out is Bottas. As we get set to go here in FP1, it should be noted that the track temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, while the air temperature is 17 degrees Celsius. Of course, this is the second sprint weekend of the season after Imola. This means the schedule for the weekend changes around, as after FP1 this afternoon, we will have qualifying later on today. To understand more about how the sprint weekends work, you can check it out there. Are Mercedes back? This is the question everybody is asking after their great performance at the British Grand Prix. They have been talking down their chances this week, believing that this circuit may not play to the W13 strengths, but in a sprint weekend and with a chance of rain around, they could be forgiven. They could be forgiven for believing their first win of this season could come this weekend. And there is Hamilton, Verstappen, and Ricciardo ahead of FP1. Ferrari won their first race since April last weekend as Carlos Sainz claimed his maiden victory in Formula One, but Silverstone has set themselves a target of trying to close the gap to Red Bull at the top of both championships before the summer break, and a win here at their rivals' home race would be huge for their chances. Verstappen and Red Bull have won 3 out of the last 4 Austrian Grand Prix and will have a lot of support in the crowd on what is the team's home race. Verstappen enters the weekend with a 34-point lead over teammate Perez in the Drivers' Championship, with Red Bull currently holding a 63-point lead over Ferrari in the Constructors. There is a Red Bull going off into the gravel. After a phenomenal weekend of action at Silverstone, we come to the Red Bull Ring a mere 5 days later as we get set for another edition of the Austrian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel has got a new helmet for this weekend. The orange flares are beginning to go off as the Dutch fans welcome Verstappen onto the track, and the championship leader sets the fastest lap of the session so far, which is greeted with a round of applause from the crowd. Here is Verstappen on the radio.
Let me know if you like a front wing adjustment. That's all right.
So Red Bull considering a front wing adjustment there. I'll be back in a moment. So Perez has just locked up at turn 4 and made his way onto the gravel on the medium tyre as Verstappen sets another fastest lap of the session, despite not matching his personal best. In the final sector, here we have Hamilton on the radio.
And that's P10, that's 30 milliseconds to George in P9.
So Hamilton currently in P10, but he's dropped down to P13. Here, all the drivers out on track are on the medium tyre at the moment, as Alonso, who is second on the timesheets, goes into the pit lane. Sainz and Leclerc are currently crawling around, currently down in 14th and 15th respectively, but Sainz is opening what looks to be a quick lap. It is, sort of, as he moves up to P9. Bottas is now out on track and has gone straight into 5th. Currently, Russell and Hamilton are in 12th and 13th as Mercedes look to get to grips with the track. Leclerc has now gone to 7th as Gasly, who has been heard complaining about the wind, going up to 10th. Pirelli tweeted, "Welcome to FP1 at the Austrian Grand Prix. It's a sprint weekend, which means that there's just 1 hour, this 1 hour session before qualifying later today. As a result, I expect the teams to concentrate on the 2 softest compounds in preparation for the qualifying hour." And here is Sainz on the radio.
I need to cool on the car, the tires.
Okay, that's it.
Sainz needs to cool the car on the tyres. Here is Lewis Hamilton doing a green sector 1 and 2 as he crosses the line for P8. Alpine are looking quick, to be fair, at the start of this session. So as Sky have just gone to an ad break. Ocon has just gone up to P4, making it 2 Alpines in the top 4. They have been in good form in the last few weeks and will be looking to pit McLaren to be the top midfield team again this weekend. Hamilton has just set off on another lap, clocking personal bests in the first 2 sectors and finishing in the lap P8 ahead of Russell in 9th. Oh, there's been a red flag. Session stopped. The McLaren of Lando Norris is stopped on track. So there's a red flag. In FP1 here in Austria. Lando's car was on fire. This is not the start of the weekend that McLaren would have wanted, as Norris has pulled over to the edge of the track at turn 6 and got out of the car after complaining of smoke underneath his seat. He mounts a moat and is off back to the paddock. Here is Lando Norris on the radio.
I'm on fire, I need to stop.
If you're on fire and need to stop, Do it.
I'm smoking from under my seat, mate, so I'd rather get out, all right?
Okay, get out then. Get out, mate.
So there was smoke underneath his seat. The car performance rankings on the straights: Verstappen is fastest, Vettel second, Leclerc in third, Perez fourth, and Stroll in fifth. So the red flag was due to an issue on Lando's car. He's on his way back to the garage. As they are recovering Norris's car here. Cars are now back on track. Green flag. as the clock has continued to tick down under that red flag, which is not good news for any of the team, as they are losing valuable track time ahead of qualifying this afternoon. That 8 minutes of stoppage is that track time up in smoke. Verstappen has, of course, won 3 of the last 5, with him winning in Spain, Monaco, and Canada. Albon leads his good friend Russell back out on track. The Thai racer will be one of the drivers looking to get as much learning done in FP1 after an interrupted weekend in Silverstone meant he and Williams did not get as much data as they would have liked on their upgraded car. Sainz is complaining of a loss of understeer. Verstappen goes quickest. As him, Sainz and Leclerc are the only drivers currently out on track on the soft tyre as they look to get some fast laps in ahead of qualifying this afternoon. Leclerc was currently top of the timesheets by nearly half a second to his teammate in second. Verstappen is currently on his fast lap and has 2 purple sectors. Will he go to the top? Yes, he does, by 3/10. Here is Sainz on the radio.
And let me know for flap adjust.
Yeah, quite a bit of derating.
Copy it. Pit confirm. And let me know for flap adjust.
Let's do 0.5, see what happens.
Copy. And let me know for flap adjust.
Mercedes are happy to be in Austria. We're now seeing more drivers coming out on the soft tyre, including the two Alfa Romeos. Meanwhile, Tsunoda has gone up to 6th as Schumacher has a big slide at turn 3 after his teammate Magnussen went off at the same corner just ahead of him, but all is well as the Dane goes up to 4th. Sainz has gone yellow in Sector 1. As he sets a personal best in Sector 2. Guan Yu Zhou has set a personal best in Sector 1, but there's a red flag. The second red flag of the session. And drivers are losing more track time here. And there's a bit of debris on track.
Girls don't like football.
And there is a bit of debris on track. The track is beginning to rubber in as there's a lot of green sector times being set by drivers on the medium and the softs. There's still no sign of Norris MCL 36 making it back to the pit lane as of now. There's debris on the track on the run down to turn 7, which is very close to the racing line as the drivers make their way past it. It does not seem to be metallic, so this delay should not be long. Here is Pierre Gasly on the radio.
Okay, sorry, Pierre, we have to move to soft or we won't have enough time to run it properly.
So Pierre's going on to soft tyres. Verstappen wasn't happy on the radio there. And we've got 15 minutes left of practice. We're back to green then. Bottas, who is up to P5, will be mainly focusing on race pace in the practice sessions this weekend, as he will be starting back at the grid in Sunday's race after it was announced he had power unit elements changed on his car. Meanwhile, replays show Verstappen getting tested with one of the Ferraris ahead of the red flag. The Dutchman feeling that it had cut rather rudely across his bowls, a nice bit of kindling for their rivalry this weekend. Ricciardo is the first driver out on track, followed by Perez. The McLaren driver is still on the mediums, while Hamilton and Perez get set for flying laps on the softs. On another note, Norris's car has made it back into the garage, so could we see him out at any point in this session? Perez goes for his first flying lap on the soft tyre, but it's not a great lap as he goes up to fourth, nearly a second off his teammate. Hamilton has gone up to third, but his time might be deleted for exceeding track limits. 10 minutes to go. Russell has gone up to third ahead of his teammate Hamilton, as Alonso on the medium tyre goes up to fifth ahead of Sainz. Things are looking good for the Alpine drivers so far today. Replays also show Bottas going off the track at turn 9. Perez goes for another lap on the soft tyre and improves slightly, but stays in 7th. Further behind, Schumacher has gone into 9th, as Hamilton goes for another lap and stays 4th. Magnussen, meanwhile, goes P5, dropping Perez down to P8. Replays show Verstappen being blocked by the Aston Martin Stroll, much to the annoyance of the Red Bull driver. Bottas again goes off the track, this time at turn 4. There's not long left then of this session. Five minutes to go now. Russell has just gone faster in the Mercedes, but stays in third. Ricciardo is now coming out on the track on another set of mediums. The McLaren driver seems to be suffering from some sort of balance issue so far this season. Here he is on the radio.
Yeah, it seems better.
Okay, so it's not doing it anymore, Daniel.
Yeah, I couldn't see it doing it. I think it was better.
Copy.
So it was definitely better. I think it's okay, but it was definitely better.
Leclerc stays in second with his lap. Hamilton has just gone off at turn one as Gasly is heard on the radio getting annoyed by the Ferrari and Leclerc at the same corner. Speaking of the Monegasque driver, he has set a personal best in the first sector. Can he improve? He does, as he sets the quickest final sector of the session, but stays second. And the checkered flag is out. Alonso finishes in provisional P8. As many drivers are finishing now. So that is it for FP1. The full lineup: Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Perez, Hamilton, Magnussen in P6, with Sainz in 7th, Alonso is in 8th, Schumacher 9th, 10th is Tsunoda, 11th is Lance Stroll, 12th is Esteban Ocon, 13th is Sebastian Vettel, 14th Valtteri Bottas, 15th Alex Albon, 16th is Pierre Gasly, 17th is Daniel Ricciardo, 18th is Guan Yu Zhou, 19th is Nicholas Latifi, and 20th is Lando Norris. So that is it for FP1. We have got a few things to say. A few drivers are finishing up their final laps, including Perez, who has just set his quickest time of the session and splits the Mercedes drivers to go up to 4th. Vettel was also on a lap but stays in 13th. Here's George Russell on the radio.
That front right brake is splitting a lot.
Okay, fine.
So the front right brake of Russell is splitting a lot, according to him. Verstappen tops FP1. A nice start to the weekend for the championship leader, who leads rival Leclerc by 0.255 seconds. Russell in Mercedes rounds out the top 3, ahead of Perez in 4th and Hamilton in 5th. This qualifying battle should be very intriguing. And on the overview, round 11 of the 2022 season comes to Austria. Max Verstappen comes here with a 34-point lead at the top of the championship. Red Bull lead Ferrari by 63 points in the constructors. Clear skies as the Red Bull ring with 0% chance of rain. And Lando Norris pulls off the track with an issue on his McLaren, bringing out the red flags. So that is it for this session. We will be back at 3:30 for qualifying. So everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter as well, at MCFC Hibs if you are new around here. Dugout Daily is the football channel, and Hit the Apex is the F1 channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all at 3:30 for qualifying. Take care, and we'll speak to you all soon. Goodbye for now.